Hey everybody, let's get off into today's video of modern day women against accountability. And boy, is there a lot to be said. Hope you enjoy what you're about to watch. If you do, please feel free to hit that like and subscribe. Enjoy the video.
Unpopular opinion. A lot of women weaponize emotions to negate accountability. Accountability seems like such a big word to so many women already. They don't like to hear it. They definitely don't want to take that shit. So instead of taking accountability, what they'll do is they'll guilt trip you, use silent treatment, emotional outbursts, blaming, and avoidance, all to get you to do whatever they need you to do in those moments. And at that time, it's probably forget that they need to be taking accountability for something. And so inside of these relationships is actually emotional manipulation. And what it does is it creates trust issues, communication breakdowns inside of it with your man. Now, he don't want to have these deep conversations with you because he knows that this is what he's going to have to deal with.
Hey y'all, so I got a question. How come women that take a man's side become villainized by other women? How come when a woman speaks up in a positive light or in agreement with a man, all of a sudden she's a pick-me? How come when a woman calls out what's right from what's wrong, that goes against what a woman is doing, then that makes her delusional? Why is that? Why do y'all think that it's okay not to hold other women accountable? I'm not even gonna hold you. A lot of y'all women literally disgust me. And the reason why I'm saying that is not because I don't know how to hold a man accountable. It's because I have a head on my shoulders and I have a mind of my own, honey. Okay? A lot of y'all women, y'all like to sit around with other women and try to bash men that really don't deserve it. Y'all like to sit here and point fingers at women that feel like men are in the right when 9 times out of 10, sometimes they do be, okay? Y'all gotta stop thinking that you're being a girl's girl for not holding women accountable. That's unacceptable, and it says a lot about your character, and it says a lot about your mindset, your one-track way of thinking. You gotta stop it, ladies. It's sad, it's unbecoming, and honestly, it's downright low vibrational, okay?
You'll find every single way to circumvent having to agree with the woman. I said that the patriarchy is holding y'all back from being yourselves, and that's why people are going around saying who gonna be the boys, not because men don't want to be men, but because they see the freedom of expression that women have, and they're chasing that. They're chasing that high. The system, the patriarchy, is holding y'all back from doing that. The only people who can dismantle that system or even begin to dismantle that system is men themselves. I never said there weren't misogynistic women. I never said that women can't uphold the patriarchy, but this is a who set that system up situation. Mind you, I'm advocating for this freedom of self-expression because a lot of niggas would still be alive today if they could just be themselves. Like nobody cares about men's mental health. Bitch, I'm giving you the sauce. I'm giving you the recipe right now. Stop saying no homo everything. Stop saying no diddy everything. You want to talk about phrases on the internet negatively impacting men? How about the men that are literally killing other men for being themselves? That includes being queer. That includes being trans. You gotta accept that too. If you say you give a shit about men's mental health, you gotta give a fuck about all of it. And I do. And you got motherfuckers in my comment section saying, no, women still do this too, but yeah, it's definitely men more. So you fucking agree with me. Why did you have to say it? Why? When I said it's something that y'all have to start doing, it's because I exist in largely female spaces. This is not to say that I don't come across ignorant women, but by large, I see women accept support and actually encourage men doing different shit. When women were saying, we want niggas with clean hands, like we want y'all to get manicures and shit. When women were posted up with their niggas getting matching nail sets, all the girls were, oh, that's so cute, I can't wait for my man to do this with me. And by, I see niggas in the comments. They don't want men. They want the men to be feminine now. Y'all want all your men to be feminine. Everybody want men doing this girly. Huh? I have a video about this on my main from like a year ago. I saw a man giving out like hygiene tips to young men. All the men in the comments calling him fruity. And that's not to say that no man took what they needed from that video, but what the fuck is y'all problem with being clean? Why do we have a problem with being clean? What the fuck? Niggas was calling him gay for trimming the hair under his arms. Like, are we okay? And mind you, I give a fuck because I have 3 brothers. I didn't have friends for most of my life, so I would just hang out with their friends. I seen what niggas talk about in male-dominated spaces. I see their screens. I see the shit they interact with online and what those comment sections look like. I don't want that for them. And it wasn't until they started listening to me and taking me serious that they went from being 3 incredibly angry teenage boys, and mind you, I was an angry-ass teenager too. We was just all fucking angry. So now we get along so well. They're no longer angry. I want that for all men. I don't want anger to be at the forefront of the mind all the time, because I used to live like that, and oh my god, it's fucking awful. When everything somebody else does makes you angry, when everything you do makes you angry, the only solution is to work on yourself. Now, my brother lets my cousin give him manicures. Do you know he would have smacked the shit out of me if I tried to paint his nails years ago? Like, oh my god, if he would have told me years ago, I wouldn't have fucking believed it. And that's not to say that I solved the patriarchy with my brothers, but I'm not obligated to come on here and advocate for y'all in the slightest fucking bit. Especially with the way that men talk to me on this app. Bitch, you would think that I would. Anyway, I could just not do that shit at all, because then I wouldn't have to deal with that. But I want better for us. By us, I mean the black community. I kind of don't really give a fuck what white men are doing. I can't get to them up there. And black men, they're gonna come in here and be like, well, how are we upholding the patriarchy? We're black first and foremost. You're still a man. A man's gonna listen to you before they listen to a woman. We playing the longest game of telephone in the world, and until you can recognize the privilege that you have as a man, until you can acknowledge the patriarchy for what it is and recognize these systems that put you in certain places in the world, we're never gonna be able to have a real conversation, unfortunately.
And if she's not taking any accountability from the jump, don't wife that girl up. She's not going to start in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years from now. It's probably just going to get worse because you've enabled her to not be accountable. That should be done before you get into a relationship.
That's one of the worst situations to be in with a woman who only moves on her feelings. If she's not moving on duty, respect, responsibility, something higher than just how you feel, her emotions, it is going to be a chaotic ride. That means the words she says mean nothing.
The reason why women hate accountability is because we think accountability means that what happened to us, we deserved it. It's because for so long, this system, this world, this society under this patriarchy has victim blamed a lot of women in the past, while coddling the other gender or letting them off the hook for what they did. It's that whole old saying, well, you should never been wearing that skirt and that would have never happened to you. So if you weren't wearing that skirt, then he probably would never did this to you, and we should let him off the hook. Or he would never beat you up if you didn't flirt with that other guy over there. So therefore, charges are not going to be filed. That's why accountability is so sickening to women, because of how society has conditioned women to think what accountability actually looks like. There needs to be empathy there when talking to women about accountability, because of the emotion, the traumatic motion and triggering that it comes out of us when you start to talk about accountability, especially when we project on other women's situations like Megan Thee Stallion or Cassie, and we put that into our own situation because we still feel like the victim in that situation. And to us, a lot of the times when people say you need to take accountability, for some reason that translates in our mind that you deserve what happened to you, or letting that person off the hook for what they did to you. And you have to have so much love and sensitivity, empath, and grace when having this conversation with women so they can actually get it, because we're not thinking with logic. When you talk about it, we're thinking with our emotions, and a lot of trauma is coming out of us. Therefore, let me put it in my own words. Accountability does not mean whatever happened to you, you deserved it. That's not what that means. That person who did whatever they did to you and how they wronged you, taking accountability does not let them off the hook. Taking accountability is the part that you play within yourself, how you betrayed yourself, how you sold your soul for certain things, how you lied to yourself, how you selfishly made decisions that betrayed yourself and end up harming yourself in the end, how you didn't trust your intuition. Taking accountability for your future means if I see something that is similar to this, I move differently in this world. I will not put myself in situations that could possibly harm me, or cut off connections and situations that could lead to my demise, because you are your protector. This world is not a pretty place. How we are able to move in this world is not based off of other people around us. It's based off of how you move in this world, because this is not a Disney movie. You have to have wisdom, and sometimes, yes, you have to get burned or done wrong or betrayed it to learn from that situation. Taking accountability means taking your power back, Because yes, when you stay in victim mode, you will forever be a victim. You know how? It's because you look at every situation that is the other person's fault, and that you are just wandering by in the world while everyone around you does everything wrong. And you are basically telling yourself you're not smart enough, you're not wise enough, you're not strong enough to move in this world on your own. Women, you are smart enough. You are strong enough. You are wise enough. You are in charge of your own world. You have the power to say no. You have the power to walk away. You have the power to heal. You don't need anybody telling you how to move in this world and telling you what to do if something doesn't feel right.
I see who the real narcissists are. It's us women! I made a video saying I don't never believe the women first until I hear both sides. Everybody in the comments was like, oh yeah, it's giving pick me, it's giving men pick me. And then this lady, she posted a video because she was in the gym, and the guy was like, I just commend you for wearing a full skirt, you know, like, I don't see it a lot lately. And somebody else was like, it's giving male validation. You women are the wolf in sheep's clothing! You guys are the devil. Oh my God. It's so clear. Women try to portray this image that men are just horrible people when in reality, it's us.
So I was talking to a male friend of mine the other day, and he told me that women don't apologize and women can't be held accountable. And I began to really think deeply about this idea. And one of the things that came across my mind is, in the last 9 months or so of me being in my private practice, I have myself experienced many women, whether they came in as a couple or they came by themselves, they very abruptly discontinued their therapy. And I started to reflect and really think, what was going on here? And I noticed that after I had to confront them about something, I had to bring to their attention something they were doing that wasn't contributing to the health of the relationship, they became very defensive and very, just very harsh, and they stopped coming. And even though the husband would continue to come, he made it very clear that, yeah, she won't apologize. She thinks you're wrong. She thinks you're taking my side. And I began to really reflect, like, oh my gosh, is it true that women don't apologize? Is it that women struggle with being held accountable? I'd love your thoughts on this. Me personally, I think it has to do with a person's level of emotional maturity. What do you think?
I've never heard a woman admit to cheating unless she can use it to play victim. The only time a woman will actually admit that she cheated on her husband or her significant other is when she wants to gain sympathy. But the justification that so many women are able to tell themselves to make themselves feel better looks something along the lines of, oh, he wasn't treating me right. Oh, it wasn't really cheating because I was already out of this relationship and I was checked out the entire time. Like, what the fuck does that even mean? That you're having an emotional affair probably with someone through Snapchat and you're basically cheating, but you're not calling it cheating because you're checked out. But then when a man cheats, he's been cheating the entire time and he's just an awful pig. Make that make sense. And then my favorite is always when you want to add in, oh, he's just a friend and he pops out of nowhere and suddenly you want to go on girls' nights and you want to do all this stuff and you're trying to convince your husband that it's just a friend, even though you and your husband both know you've never heard of this person in your entire life. But that's also not cheating because that's a work husband. And there's already studies that show that 70% of women already have a backup plan or have had a backup plan at one point or another. But is that not cheating either? It's just crazy the amount of justification women will use to justify cheating on their significant other or their partner. But then when men do it, they're a piece of shit. Okay, bye.
Don't like answering questions about things they're not proud of. That's what she didn't put in there. If a woman was proud of her weight, proud of her body, proud of any of the things that she's asking about, she'd gladly ask them. Women show off stuff that they're proud about, and women hide stuff that they're not proud about. Well, here's the trick, ladies. If you don't want nobody asking you your weight, get married. Get off the dating market. If you don't want nobody asking you your height, weight, dress size, get married. Get off the dating market. But if you're on a singles market, you are in a store. You are in a store. You are a product, and you are on there's a price on you. The price that's on you match what the market's willing to pay. And that's the biggest problem. Women don't know what store they're in, and whatever store they think they're in, they're usually wrong. And then even if they get the right store, they usually put themselves at full retail price when they should be on the clearance rack.
Okay, so I understand from a logical perspective why men say that us women do not take accountability and we don't listen. Because we can't even take accountability and listen to our fellow sisters when they come bestowing knowledge upon us that can help us or better our future for later so that we don't become a stumbling block for others. But we don't do that. We criticize and we try to point out other people's flaws and other people's transgressions that they once did. And it's just like, what point does that make? Where does that get to? You're proving that you are an ignorant person when you don't take heed of knowledge, especially when somebody comes telling it to you in love. Yeah, they're not calling you out your name. You know what I'm saying? They're not belittling you. They're just telling you the truth. And because conviction is settling in, you think that they're judging you unjustly. My goodness. So I made a post telling women if they don't want men lusting after them, then put your clothes on. And the women that don't want to be lusted by men, but yet wear provocative clothing, found a way to go against that and reverted back to men. My goodness. The lack of accountability is why we don't have unity. It's why a man can't walk in his authority without being called insecure or anything other than a leader when he's protective, when he shows his protection and not just by his strength, but how he cares for you because how he wants you covered. Why have we been so programmed to be at war with these men, but we need them? And I know what comes after that. She's a pick-me. Yeah, okay. Well, I'd rather be picked by a man than you. And that's not the point. When women throw that out, it's because they don't have a valid rebuttal. This is why I always say that the term pick-me is just a bulletproof vest for the unteachable, while accountability is the bullet. And this isn't a low blow to men, but baby, men are the easiest thing to get out here. But being picked isn't the motive. But learning from your mistakes and taking heed to knowledge is. It just baffles me because usually the women that throw that term out there are the ones that do everything to get a man's attention. Quite uncanny. Overall, I love my sisters, I really do. Y'all be so beautiful. You ain't got to do all that. I had to learn it. See, the crazy thing is I didn't have nobody to teach me. I had everybody amping me up though. You know what I'm saying? Watching me self-destruct. I don't want you to get there. That's why I teach you in love. Take heed. It's okay. Remember, beauty is revealed from the inside before it is revealed on the out, okay?